Policymakers at the state and local level are making a lot of decisions for people in our state, in those places in our state, and they don't necessarily have consistent access to the most up-to-date or recent scientific findings that are related to those decisions that they're making. We're able to launch the Local Science Engagement Network to serve that purpose of helping scientists around the state engage more effectively with the policymaking process. We want to make sure that science is being used when we're figuring out solutions to some of the most pressing problems in the state, rather than just conducting science in a bubble and then not sharing that with policymakers.
I really believe that if you want to change the world, you got to start somewhere near home. That's the goal of the Missouri Local Science Engagement Network, is to help policymakers who may not have an expertise or understanding of science or ways to communicate science.
The engagement network really can help bring evidence-based understandings of our complex problems to bear in the world of elected officials and decision makers around the state.
We developed 4 science priorities with our advisory council, who are scientists and experts across the state of Missouri. And those 4 priority areas are climate change, food and health systems disparities, environmental pollution and contamination, and emerging diseases.
Here in Missouri, we actually have a number of emerging diseases, and they're quite important. Tick-borne diseases are becoming more and more common as people move out of the cities and into the countryside. Mosquito-borne viruses like West Nile virus and Zika virus are becoming more common too because of climate change.
Climate change over time will address so many different aspects of our lives. In climate change, while the discourse around it has become so politicized, there are local issues facing Kansas City or the state of Missouri that we need to understand better.
We have air pollution in the state of Missouri, either in urban areas, it's where you see smog and ozone, but then we also have some really localized air pollution happening around manufacturing facilities. Right now, there's a lot of different types of pollution that's coming into the groundwater and into our surface waters in Missouri.
In major cities like Kansas City, St. Louis, it may seem like, oh, there's a plethora of physicians and other practitioners. We have huge academic medical centers in those cities, but people are still not being able to access the care that they need to stay healthy. And then on the rural side of things, you're dealing, again, with access issues, but more the geographic distances.
Add all of that onto the COVID-19 pandemic, and we have the potential to have some very severe disease outbreaks here in Missouri. Our honest broker strategy is one of the most important things we do. It allows us to present information without bias, without party affiliation, scientific-backed research that helps break through that partisan divide.
What we don't do as honest brokers is tell the policymakers how to vote. So we understand that they're facing a lot of competing priorities when they're making decisions. We expect them to be the experts at their districts. They have their own expertise that they bring to the office based on their previous experience. And we're there to make sure that they also have access to science information.
The scientific process is really apolitical. It's one just rooted in observation and data. Being an honest broker just means staying true to the process, to the scientific process, to understand what's going on. It's not driven by left or right, it's driven by facts.
And looking at the way that evidence was, and that data was it collected in a way that I can trust? And if it was, accepting the results for what they are, even if they don't align with what I was hoping they would be. And presenting it in a way that is clear and as free from bias as possible to achieve the best outcome.
I think some of the characteristics of the active members are that they are actively trying to learn about the policymaking process, particularly in areas that are really important to them, whether that be climate change, healthcare, you name it. They are really interested in figuring out who are the people making decisions in that topic area, and then when are they making decisions, how can we best provide information to them. So they're getting to know the landscape, and they're starting to build relationships with those key decision makers. So if you want to become a member of Missouri's Local Science Engagement Network, we have a really great platform that we've set up in order to help you engage.
You go to Missouri LSEN.quorum.us, you put your name in, you put your address, you put your email in. From there, I'm able to leverage the network to alert you to things that are specifically happening in your neighborhood that you can be a part of. Other than that, you can go to mostpolicyinitiative.org, click on Local Science Engagement Network, and sign up that way.